To set up this game, you're going to want one storehouse on the board, 55 denarii, which is the currency in this game, a ship card, and 2 bluff cards. You also want 1 resource card from the shuffled deck. You are also going to want to draw a Senate card from the Senate deck. Place a token on the card to show that it's active in the current round. The Senate card determines how much a resource is worth in the Senate house. Draw an extra card to have the Senate card prepared for the next round. Every round, every person draws 5 cards from the deck. You want to organize your cards so that 4 cards are being auctioned off, which is indicated by the ship. So any cards to the left of the ship are being auctioned off, and any cards to the right of the ship, which is indicated by this storage house, are being stored. The next phase is the auction phase. So you take the 4 cards that are on the ship side of your deck. You present 2 of them per turn in the auction phase, and you put them up for bid. There are 2 rounds of auctions per player per round. So you basically get to auction 2 sets of your items every auction phase. So during the auction process, you ask for a bid from the other players. The minimum bid is these 2 big numbers added together. So in this case, it'd be 15. You go around in a clockwise direction and ask if anyone wants to bid on your items. You do not have to take the highest bid, but if no one buys your items, you will have to pay half the amount of the minimum amount. So in this case, if no one buys this bid, they will have to pay 8 denarii to the bank. Even if the bid is successful, the seller must still pay half the amount to the bank because it is seen as a shipping fee. Next is the Senate and Forum phase. So if the cards you have remaining, you put resources of your choosing in each respective pile. So in this case, I put ivory and wood, and this sack, wine, and this vase. You can't have more than 3 different types of card in each section. So let's say, oh, I wanted to put ivory in here. That's a penalty, and you would have to sell your most expensive item in here, which in this case would be the barrel. Since you're placing these face down at first, you can sneak in a bluff card, which looks like this, to make it look like you're selling or giving away more than you are actually giving away. You can also decide to store certain items in the storehouse. Each storehouse can support 1 card. However, if you want more storehouses, you can pay 10 denarii for another storehouse. Once everyone's done with placing all their resources in the Forum or the Senate, you turn these up, and you get to selling. Once everyone's presented, you draw 4 cards from the deck. And the amount of items determine the value of the item. So, for example, well, there would usually be more players, but in this instant, there's 3 of the barrels, which means that I would get 10 denarii. So, yeah. And usually there'd be more cards in the game, so the value would be even less and less. So you want to try to sell cards that are more rare in the Forum, so you get more money from it. For the Senate, your value is calculated by the Senate card. And you basically add up all the given values. So for example, for this, ivory is worth 1 point, so 1 plus this sack, which isn't worth anything, so 0, and 4. The vase is worth 4, so plus 4, so 1 plus 4 would be 5. So I would have 5 points in the Senate. Whoever has the most amount of points in the Senate gets the most amount of victory points, which is here. And the second person with the second most would get 2 victory points, and the person with the third most would get 1 victory point. If you run out of money and you aren't able to pay for your resources, you must sell your storehouse at the rate of 7 denarii per storehouse to pay back your loan. If you still don't have enough money, you must pay back any loans in the future with 10 denarii each. After 5 rounds, the game will end, and then you add up all your victory points, and then the bonus victory points are determined by for each different resource you have remaining, you get 1 extra victory point, and the person with the most denarii gets 6 victory points. The person with the most money gets 3 victory points, the person with the second most money gets 2 victory points, and the person with the third most gets 1 victory point. Money, money, money.